Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all doing well today. In this video, we're taking a closer look at a deeply disturbing courtroom case that reveals just how carefully planned and calculated these events were. Through detailed testimony, we'll walk through the steps taken before the crime, the manipulation behind the scenes, and how a seemingly ordinary morning turned into a violent and irreversible tragedy. This is a case built on evidence, timelines, and first-hand accounts, and what you're about to hear plays a critical role in understanding how everything unfolded. Stay with us as we break it down, piece by piece.
Okay. How did the defendant know that Christine would be out of the home on that morning?
I'm
sorry. How did the defendant know that Christine would be at home that morning?
Yeah, she was scheduled to work that Friday morning, and he had told me that he would talk to her out of it to change. And so instead of going to work on that morning, she would be off and she would be at home. And
what was the plan for you and Valerie to be out of the house?
he had said about telling her that Valerie and I would go to the zoo, spend all day at the zoo, and we would be leaving the house early. And so, yeah, that was the plan for me and Valerie.
When did you tell her about the plan?
I told her it was a few days prior to, but I told her in person because he didn't want any messages where I would be asking, telling her about it. So the conversation I had with her was in person a few days prior.
And you said the conversation was in person, and why? I couldn't hear you.
Yeah. Oh, we couldn't hear?
Yeah. Why was the conversation in person?
So you don't be me requesting, telling her that we're going, asking to go, and yeah, so he wanted things in person.
And who wanted things in person?
Brendan.
Okay. Was there really an au Paris trip planned for the zoo that morning?
There was not.
When you woke up on the morning of the 24th, what happened first?
I woke up early. I think I had an alarm on my phone, and I went downstairs to the kitchen.
Do you recall what time you got up?
I would say 6 something.
On the morning of the 24th, the testimony shows that everything was planned in advance. Christine was supposed to go to work that Friday, but the defendant said he would talk her into staying home. Because of that, Christine remained in the house that morning. At the same time, Christine was told that the witness and Valerie would be leaving early to spend the whole day at the zoo. That zoo trip was not real and was only used as an excuse to get them out of the house. The witness said she told Christine about this plan in person a few days earlier because the defendant did not want any text messages or written proof. When the morning arrived, the witness woke up early, around 6 a.m., went downstairs to the kitchen, and the plan began to move forward exactly as it had been arranged.
Did you wake up Valerie that morning?
No, Brendan did.
And who brought Valerie to you that morning?
Brendan.
Did he say anything to you when he left Valerie with you?
She said Christine was asleep.
And what did you do next?
Next, I started getting her ready downstairs. And yeah, for now, I was just getting her ready, in the living room downstairs.
Did you or Brendan text Joe that morning?
Yes.
And on what platform?
On what?
On what platform? How did you contact him?
A Telegram.
Okay. And In the telegram messages, we can see instructions for Joe to park in the driveway.
What exhibit is this? I'm sorry.
I'm sorry?
What exhibit is this on the
Oh, I
screen?
apologize, Your Honor. This is Commonwealth 73.
73, so it's already in evidence, so
Yes, it is
we can
already in
publish it
evidence.
to the
Yeah.
jury. Thank you.
Um, I'm just going to move on. I can't find the page at this moment. How is Joe supposed to get into the house?
We had told him during the phone call that the door would be unlocked.
Okay. And who unlocked the front door?
Brendan did, using Christine's cell phone.
And I'm going to show you, if I could have the view to be to counsel and the witness only at this point. Commonwealth 231.
Was that 231?
231.
Thank you.
Can you see that?
Yes.
Do you know what that is? Do you recognize that?
I would say it's Christine's cell phone.
And do you recognize the app that is showing?
Yes, that's the tab they will control the front door lock and the thermostat in the house.
And is this the app that was used to unlock the door?
Yeah,
How is the door going to stay unlocked?
it has to be changed. It has to be deactivated through the app on the cell phone. The person can choose how many minutes the door is gonna
Okay.
lock and
Judge, at this point in time, I'm going to ask to admit Commonwealth 231,
Any objection?
Okay.
All right, 231,
and that can be
gotcha,
published to the jury.
and published.
Yes. What did Brendan do with the phone, if anything, after he made sure that the door would stay unlocked?
he deactivated the door lock on her phone, and he turned it off and hid the phone in the drawer in the bar area we have, like in the kitchen.
And at this point, we can terminate the view.
All right.
Before the two of you left the house that morning, did you have any other conversation with Brendan?
No, he had, after a text to Joe, he said, Brendan told me he would be leaving the house at that moment, for me to wait a few minutes before leaving the house with Valerie.
On the morning of the 24th, Brendan woke up Valerie and brought her to another person in the house, saying that Christine was still asleep. That person then started getting Valerie ready downstairs in the living room. Meanwhile, Brendan and the same person communicated with Joe through telegram, sending him instructions to park in the driveway. To let Joe into the house, Brendan used Christine's cell phone and a smart home app to unlock the front door, then deactivated the app and hid the phone in a kitchen drawer. Before leaving the house with Valerie, Brendan instructed them to wait a few minutes after sending the text to Joe.
What, if anything, did he give you in that morning before the two of you left?
Gun,
What kind of gun?
handgun.
And what did you do with that?
I put it in my pocket, in my sweater.
Who was it that left the house first?
Brendan did.
And what was the plan for him that morning? Where was he going to go, and what was going to happen next?
He was going to stay, he was going to go to the McDonald's, which is, say 5-6 minutes away from our house by the clock tower. And he would stay there until whenever I called him.
And what were you supposed to do?
I was supposed to stay in the car with Valerie to put something on her iPad for her to watch. And as soon as I saw Dariah pulling up the driveway, I was supposed to give Christina a call, but her phone would be off, it would go to voicemail, and I was supposed to call him right away and tell him there was somebody strange coming to the house, and that I was scared, and yeah.
Okay. And so let's go step by step. Did you leave the house?
Yeah.
Did you go to the car?
Yes.
And did you put Valerie inside the car?
Yes.
And did you begin to put a show on for her?
Yeah, I was trying to connect her tablet on the Wi-Fi on my phone,
Okay.
so I could put on a show for her on Netflix.
And then what, if anything, did you see after that?
I think after a couple minutes, I do not know how many minutes passed. That's when I saw Joe pulling in the driveway, and I was still parked in the cul-de-sac, and I called Christine's phone and went to voicemail, and I called Brendan right after, as he had instructed me to do.
And did Brendan say why he wanted you to call Christine's phone and then call his phone?
Yeah, so then you'd have the phone call history on her phone that I had tried to call her. Yeah.
And then what happened next? You said you saw Joe arrive. What, if anything, did you see him do?
He just went straight to the driveway, parked next to Christine's car, and I called. After I called Christine, I called Brendan, and then he picked up the phone, and I was telling him just the way he had said, and like there is somebody strange coming to the house, I'm scared, and he told me for me to stay there, he would be coming home, and that he would try to also call Christine.
I'm going to go backwards a little bit.
Before leaving the house that morning, Brendan handed over a handgun, which was placed into a sweater pocket. Brendan left first, with a plan to go to a nearby McDonald's and wait there until he received a call. The remaining plan was to stay in the car with Valerie and put a show on her iPad. Once Joe arrived and pulled into the driveway, a call was made to Christine's phone, which went straight to voicemail, followed immediately by a call to Brendan, exactly as instructed. This was done so it would appear there had been an attempt to reach Christine. Joe then parked next to Christine's car and went toward the house. Brendan was told that a stranger had arrived and that there was fear, and he responded by saying he would come back and also try calling Christine himself. What do you think happens next once Joe enters the house and Brendan starts heading back?
Do you recall when it was that Brendan told you, when Joe arrives, call Christine and then call me? Do you recall when he told you that?
It was throughout the whole process when I think he had all his plan in his mind, and then he just told me how things were going to happen. This is going to happen, you do this, and then you do that, and that's going to happen. But I cannot say for sure, like, the period, like, when that was, I cannot say it.
At this point, you've seen Joe Ryan go into the house, you've made your phone calls. What, if anything, happened at this point?
After I call Brendan, he says he's coming, and then a few minutes pass. Again, I don't know how many minutes. And but it felt like forever. And he arrived, he parked his car next to the mailbox, and he got out the car. He was crossing the street, and I got out the car. I got Valerie out of the car too. Then we went following him to the back of the house, to the door that leads us into the basement.
Okay. And whose idea was it to go into the basement?
Brenda's.
And whose idea was it for all of you to go into the basement?
Brendan.
And did all three of you go into the basement together?
Yeah.
And when you accessed the basement, did you go in through the front door of the house? Did you go in through the back door of the house? How did you get in?
The three of us got into the house through the basement door, which was in the back of the house.
And when the three of you went into the basement, did anyone lock the door to the outside that you had just come in after you went inside?
No. After when I inside, I did not recall locking the door or doing anything with the door.
Do you recall if their dog was in the basement when you went inside?
I saw her in a flash. And also because I knew she was going to be there in the basement. But what happened with her after that, I don't know.
Okay. Did she go upstairs with you?
What is it?
I'll move on. So is Valerie still with you at this point in time while you're in the basement?
Yes.
Okay. And so what did you do with Valerie?
Brenda had told us to stay there in the basement. And again, I knew we were supposed to stay there, she and I. And he went upstairs to the main floor.
Okay.
After the phone call to Brendan, he told them he was on his way. A few minutes later, he arrived, parked by the mailbox, and walked across the street. The witness then got out of the car with Valerie, and the three of them followed Brendan to the back of the house, entering through the basement door. It was Brendan's idea for everyone to go into the basement, and once inside, the door to the outside was left unlocked. Their dog, Flash, was in the basement as expected, though what happened to her afterward was unclear. At this point, Valerie stayed in the basement with the witness while Brendan went upstairs to the main floor, leaving them there as part of his plan.
And what if anything did you do?
I just stayed with her, and after a couple minutes passed by, and I had told her for you to stay here, and then I also went upstairs to the main floor.
Was that something that you decided to do, or was that a part of, was that something that you were told to do?
It was something I was told to do. It was part of his plan.
Say that again?
It was part of his plan.
Okay. And when you say it was a part of his plan, whose plan?
Brenda's.
Okay. So you left Valerie in the basement, and you said you went upstairs?
Mm-hmm.
When you got to the main level, did you or Brendan lock the door at the top of the basement stairs?
I do not recall doing that.
And what, if anything, did you do next?
When I got to the main floor, Brendan was standing at the bottom of the stairs that lead us upstairs. And he was just listening. Then he gestured to me for me to wait, just listen to the sound. And the sound was like slapping. That's when you're slapping somebody. That's the sound we could hear.
And what, if anything, happened after that?
I think we were listening to that sound for a few seconds, and he took his gun out, and because I also had the gun with me, I just did the same. And he proceeded to go upstairs, and I just followed him upstairs to the master bedroom.
Who opened the bedroom door?
Brendan?
Did you go inside the bedroom?
Yes.
And what did you see when you went inside the bedroom?
When we first get into the bedroom, I could see that the bed we have in the master bedroom was kind of tall. And so from my point of view, all I could see was like Joe. At the moment I knew it was Joe, like on top of Christine, in a way I'd only describe holding her down. And that was my first view as soon as I get into the bedroom.
Were you able to see Christine at all at that point?
At that point, no.
Did anyone say anything when the two of you went into the bedroom?
Yeah, when I got to the bedroom, Brendan said, he yelled, "Police officer." And Christine's first reaction, that was the first time I heard she say anything at that point. And she yelled back at Brendan, saying, "Brendan, he has a knife." And yeah, that's when Brendan first shot Joe.
Did you see Joe before he was shot?
Yeah.
After leaving Valerie in the basement, the witness went upstairs to the main floor as part of Brendan's plan. Once upstairs, they did not lock the basement door. Brendan was standing at the bottom of the stairs, listening, and then gestured for the witness to wait and listen. They heard sounds of someone being struck, described as slapping. Brendan then drew his gun, and the witness, who also had a gun, followed him upstairs to the master bedroom. Brendan opened the bedroom door first, and inside, the witness saw Joe on top of Christine, holding her down, though Christine herself was not yet visible. Brendan shouted, "Police officer," prompting Christine to respond that Joe had a knife, and that's when Brendan first shot Joe.
What did he look like when he saw Brendan?
Shocked.
After Brendan shot Joe, did anyone say anything?
If anyone said anything?
Yeah, did anyone say anything in the room at that point?
Yeah, because Brendan ran to Christine. She was still on the floor, and I think that point she had seen me, and she said she had asked what to do to Brendan. I think regarding to that he shot Joe, and she said my name. She told me Juliana, call 911.
And what did you do?
I called 911.
And what happened after you called 911?
At that point, Joe was already shot, so that's the sound in the background. And Brennan looks at me and just, in a way, for me, like to hang up the call.
Did he tell you? Did he say, "Juliana, hang up the call"?
No, he did not.
How did he communicate to you?
A gesture?
And what gesture did he make?
This.
And so what did you do after he made that gesture?
I hung up the phone, the phone call.
What, if anything, happened next?
Next, he was on top of Christine. Joe was laying there, and for me to grab a towel from the master bathroom. We have the closet, and I just ran to the master bathroom and grabbed him a towel and to bring it to him.
And at this point in time, could you see Christine?
Yes.
What did you see Brendan do next?
When I was bringing him the towel, he got on top of her, and that's when I first saw him stabbing her with a knife.
Where on her body was he stabbing her?
Her neck.
And were you able to see whether or not he stabbed her one time or more than one time?
When I first saw that happening, I ran to the other side of the bed, and I was just crouching down on myself and covering my ears and covering my eyes. And a few times I looked, and I was able to see him stabbing her, and he would stab, and other times he would hold the knife in a position how that was.
After Brendan shot Joe, Joe appeared shocked at seeing him. Brendan immediately ran to Christine, who was still on the floor. At that point, she saw the witness and asked what had happened, specifically about Brendan shooting Joe, and then said she was going to call 911. The witness made the call, but Brendan gestured for her to hang up, which she did. Brendan then climbed on top of Christine, and the witness was instructed to grab a towel from the master bathroom closet and bring it to him. While doing so, she could see Brendan stabbing Christine in the neck repeatedly. The witness described seeing him stab multiple times and at other moments holding the knife in position, while she crouched on the other side of the bed, covering her eyes and
He
ears.
said he was holding the knife in a position.
Yeah.
How was he holding it?
This position, I think when the way he stabbed, he was just kind of like holding it, putting pressure on it.
And was he just holding on to the knife at that point, or was he still stabbing her?
He was holding on to the knife.
Did you stab Christine at all?
I did not.
Did you touch Christine at all at this point?
No,
Did you get any blood on you?
I did.
And how did you get blood on you?
The blood on my hands, I remember, because at some point when he was stabbing her, I was kneeling, like she was here, and Brenna was like stabbing her, and I came closer, and it was right here, and I knelt on the carpet, and I had put my hands on the carpet, and as soon as I felt blood, I just removed my hands from the carpet.
Why? What did the blood feel like?
It was warm.
Did you get blood on any other part of you?
Yeah. It was on my shoes, but also on my socks.
How did you get blood on your shoes?
I walking around, I would say, freaking out, and I was pacing back and forth, and it was pacing and staying in place, covering my eyes and ears, and I didn't want to hear what their conversation, and so I don't truly know like how I got blood on my socks.
When did you take off your shoes?
When Brendan had told me 21, 28, he was telling me basically to go to the master, to the closet, to the safe, and he was telling me 21, 28, and it took me a while to know what he was talking about, and I was like, 21, 28, what? And we said safe, and before I started going to the closet, he told me take off your shoes, and I took off my shoes, and I proceeded going to the safe. I got my tiptoes like with my socks on.
Why was it that you went to the safe?
Huh?
Why did you go to the safe?
Because it was also part of his plan, and for reasons I can't make sense of them now, given that I had the gun with me that morning. Yeah.
But he wanted you to go to the safe?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to show you a series of photographs at this point. And they are going to be Commonwealth 74, 75, 76, 77, and 78. And if I could have them displayed to the witness and counsel only, please.
Okay.
I'm going to scroll through these photos, and I'm going to ask you some questions about them. So this is Commonwealth 74, 75, 76, 77, and 78. Do you recognize these photos?
Yes.
During the attack, Brendan held the knife in a way that sometimes applied pressure and other times he was actively stabbing Christine. The witness did not touch or stab Christine at any point but did get blood on her hands, shoes, and socks as she knelt on the carpet and moved around in shock, covering her eyes and ears. Later, Brendan instructed her to go to the master closet and the safe, which she did on her tiptoes while wearing only her socks, as part of his plan. Photographs were taken afterward, labeled Commonwealth 74 through 78, which the witness recognized as accurate depictions of the scene and of her clothing that day. What do you think the purpose of going to the safe was in Brendan's plan?
And how do you recognize them?
These photos were taken at the police headquarters on the date that happened. And the last picture, it's a picture of my shoes and my socks.
And the photos that show us 74, 75, 76, and 77, are those a true and accurate depiction of the clothing that you were wearing that day?
Yes.
And is 78 a true and accurate depiction of the shoes and socks that you were wearing that day?
Yeah.
Judge, at this point in time, I would ask for the court to publish these to the jury.
Push them in evidence.
I'm sorry,
Any
if I could
objection?
admit them into evidence and then publish them to
All
the
right.
jury.
No objection from the defense, 75, 76, 77, and 78 in evidence. You can publish.
And I'm just going to click through them so that they can publish. And we can terminate that view, please.
Okay.
What did you do next?
I'm sorry. Oh,
What did you do next? After 21, 28, you went to the safe, came back. What did you do at that point?
at that point, that's when I stand in front of the dresser and the TV, and I'm telling Brendan that Joe is moving. He was moving, and Brendan, he doesn't have any reaction to that whatsoever. And I just start telling him he's moving, he's behind you, and that's when I fired the shot too.
That's when could you say that again?
I fired
And when you say you fired what?
a gun
The gun that was where?
in my that I had in my pocket, the handgun.
Did you hit anyone?
Yes,
Who'd you hit?
Joe.
What happened after you shot Joe?
After I shot him, he falls back. And
Did you see Brendan touch Joe's body after you shot him?
touching, no.
After the witness went to the safe and returned, she stood near the dresser and TV, watching the situation unfold. She noticed Joe moving and warned Brendan, who did not react. Seeing the movement, she fired the handgun she had in her pocket, hitting Joe. After the shot, Joe fell back, and Brendan did not physically touch him at that moment. The series of photographs, Commonwealth 74 through 78, were confirmed as accurate depictions of her clothing that day, including her shoes and socks, and were admitted into evidence for the jury.
Did you see him interacting with Joe or Christine after you shot Joe?
Well, he was still stabbed in Christine, and he got her blood in a handful of blood, and he starts dripping on Joe's body.
Did you ever call 911 again?
Yes,
Why did you call 911 again?
I called 911 again when he told me Brendan told me he was ready for me to call.
And when you made that call, do you recall what you said?
I think I do not remember everything he said. I remember saying that I guess a friend of mine was being stabbed and somebody was shot, and I couldn't talk the rest of the call, so Brendan took the lead, and he was the one talking to the responder on the phone call.
Did the police arrive that day after you called 911?
They did.
What did you do when the police arrived?
The person on the phone, the 911, she told me to not hang up on the phone and go make sure the front door is open. And so I went downstairs to make sure the door was open. And that's when they were already at the door at that point.
And that day, on the day that the murders took place, did you speak to the police that day?
Yes. I think the first time I spoke to the police was in the driveway, and they took Valerie and I to the police headquarters.
Did you talk to the police when you got to headquarters?
Yes.
And did you tell the detectives that you spoke with that day about the things that you testified to here today?
Though what I told the detectives that day, it was the version Brendan had told me. If I was ever to talk to a lawyer, or this is ever going to happen, like this is what happened. The version I told the detectives that day, and that I eventually also told his lawyer the same version.
After the violent events, the witness followed Brendan's instructions to make another 911 call, reporting that someone was being stabbed and that someone had been shot. Brendan then spoke directly to the 911 operator. When police arrived, she kept the line open as instructed and made sure the front door was unlocked, allowing officers immediate access. Later that day, she and Valerie were taken to the police headquarters, where she gave detectives the same detailed account she had been directed to provide by Brendan, which she also shared with her lawyer. If you found this case as intense as we did, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and comment your thoughts below. We'd love to hear what you think about how this shocking day unfolded.